All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Christmas Sunday. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
my niece. It's her birthday and Christmas.
It is a
I
two for
texted
one.
her and told her, hey, love you and I hope you enjoy your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Texted with my brother and stuff. And just got on one of those family group texts that y'all know the ones. You don't even know half the numbers. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
sending memes. Uh,
Yeah, I hate them. I've gotten to the point. I'm not gonna lie. I gotten to the point that I don't know. I think I delete it and block the conversation if I can because I don't know half you people. And what was it? Was it Thanksgiving? One holiday they made me mad because they was up niggas was up bright and early in the morning. My phone was like bing 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 bing. I was like, fuck this, niggas. No.
yeah, you can hide the alerts. If you want to, you can snooze the conversation, which I usually do. But being that I'm here away from family this time, I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and let these people get on my nerves. So everybody was sending the simple. It's never like complex, funny jokes. It's always just
Mm-mm.
like Mike Tyson saying "Merry Christmas" or something like that.
Yes. Or if it's not that, it's the Jesus loves you. This I know, for the Father tells me so. So you get a bunch of
Mhm.
them and amen and hallelujah.
Right. So I let them do their thing. It was cool.
Me too. Like I said, it's actually funny, but it's just like when you're trying to like sleep or rest and them niggas up at like 5:30 a.m. You're like, I know you up, but bitch, it don't mean everybody else up.
I talked to my mom and dad a little bit. They called, so got to talk to them.
I talked to your mom
Um,
this morning.
yeah, so and then I just been watching basketball all day. I love the NBA. Football's on because I think this is the first Christmas Sunday in a while.
Hmm.
Um,
Not as many
so
games. Most everybody already played.
yeah, it's 3 games, and I think they all like are pretty much bad teams, but they couldn't have
Hmm.
known that.
When
There's
they
no way
made
to
this scheduling.
there's no way to predict football because football is the sport with the most injuries, and you try to plan some shit 17 weeks in advance. Who the fuck knows? With
Right.
the NBA, you still have a lot of injuries, but I think one, Christmas was their day, and then
Mhm.
two, they schedule so many games on Christmas, like
Yeah, like
5 or 6 or something.
yes,
That I
yes.
think it kind of balances out. Where like, okay, so Steph Curry's hurt, Anthony Davis is hurt. You still gonna get some good games out of today. You're gonna get at least a couple of marquee matchups.
Yeah, the Knicks played, LeBron played, the Mavericks
Mhm.
played. So it was some good teams actually playing, which was very enjoyable. But
That's
yeah,
another thing.
some of the
Um,
football games were blown out, well
the,
blowouts.
the NBA is much easier to predict who will be on top. Like going into the season, and if you can't predict who will be on top, you can always predict who people want to talk about. So
Yeah,
you
agreed.
can. New York is a huge market, so you can get the Knicks in there. Um, I feel like Brooklyn would have been in there if they hadn't, if it wasn't for the last couple of years of just them, disappointing people. But
Mhm.
then of course Luca, you got your
Yeah,
stars,
yeah.
LeBron.
I love me some Luca. No matter how people feel about him, I really enjoy watching him go out there and bust their ass. Like he is very enjoyable to watch play ball. I think they said the Knicks is like has the highest amount of NBA appearances on Christmas Day, more than any other team apparently. Um, I don't think the Hornets have ever played on Christmas Day. I don't know if they ever will. But as of now, I don't think we've ever played on Christmas Day. We put on like the day before, the day after, but normally not the day of.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just go with the people they know are gonna be surefire hits for the most part.
Correct.
Honestly, the biggest thing is they probably would have had the Nets on and not the Warriors if they knew Steph was gonna get hurt. But
That's
it's nothing
true.
they can do about that. But yeah, so I just been watching that and playing video games and chilling. It's been weird because it's been super cold outside and it warmed up to a nice 22 degrees a day or something. But it's funny because on the news they like conserve your energy, conserve your heat, don't turn off the lights when you're not in the room, keep the thermostat at a temperature that is like just cool enough or what, just hot enough that. And I know in North Carolina I saw they were talking about even having like rolling kind of blackouts to conserve electricity for people, even though I think they said they stopped that today or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, this is just like living with my grandmama or something. Like, turn, close that refrigerator, turn them lights off. You better turn that
Open up
TV
my
off.
door. We ain't trying to heat all outside. Yes, like them type of days. Yeah,
Right.
we ain't too far away from it. We a smooth 28 degrees. That's what the phone just told me. So it's been cold here, and
Yeah.
yeah, I ain't been outside like the past few days because I was like, I'm not taking my black ass outside. No, thank you.
Yeah, and I haven't even had to open up the windows anymore because I guess the outside is finally matching the inside, so it's just pretty chilly in here. And like when it gets toasty, it's just gonna get cold again soon. So far it's been me and this radiator been having a peaceful time. So that's
Y'all
been
ain't at odds today.
not today. But yeah,
that's that's a
I'll go
good
ahead.
thing.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
said that is a good thing that y'all not at odds. I've been just chilling today. I took me a good old
Talk a
nap.
little bit louder into the mic. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Do I need to turn my sound up like I did before? Cause I'm directly
Um,
talking to this thing.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just got you low on my side. Yeah, I don't know,
How
bro.
about now?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I sound better now.
A little bit, but go ahead. Keep talking. I'll try to fix it in post.
Okay, how about now?
Okay, you sound good.
Okay. Um, I've been just chilling today, relaxing. I took a nap just because I could. I've been playing video games today. I've been really enjoying that. I want to say Arietta, if I'm pronouncing that name
Hmm.
right, Arietta Spirits. Um, that's been a really really fun game. I made it to the last boss. I didn't realize I was playing the hell out of that game. I was up like late last night, early this morning, but I was loving that game. And
Mm.
so I got to the final boss. The final boss is kicking my ass. So I finally went to YouTube and was like, "How the fuck you beat it?" Because I got the other time. I
Hmm.
got it on the easy mode. I ain't trying to be hardcore. Ain't nothing hardcore about me at all. They was like, you want extreme or do you want light easy? I said, bitch, light and easy. It's all the same goddamn experience. Don't nothing in the game change other than the intensity. And I don't like in the intensity. And so I really have been enjoying that game. It's a little cute little game, and I can fight and stuff like that with a wooden sword and stuff like that. So that literally has been my day. I've been I made that egg sandwich thing you was
Egg
talking
toast.
about,
Yeah,
egg
you sent
toast.
me a picture.
It was actually really really good. I seasoned the eggs. I put cheese in the eggs. So I put them in the pan. I did salt and pepper. I did a little bit of sprinkle a little bit of Italian seasoning in there. I put a little bit of that tofu sour cream in there, and it turned out really, really good. And then when I flipped it and folded it, I put some ham in there. I got from the deli. I used the last little bit of ham and some cheese and stuff, and that was actually a really good sandwich. I instead of 2 eggs, I used 3 eggs.
Mhm.
So it was a lot thicker and fuller. So I didn't eat anything else with it because it was good enough by itself.
Yeah,
You know,
I use two, but yeah, it's pretty filling. You use that red pan or a different one?
that red pan. I used the dark pan, the little low one with the wooden
Mhm.
handle.
Oh, okay. That's probably why you use 3 eggs then, because I use a smaller pan and then I can use 2 eggs because then
Okay,
it's easier to
okay. A
flip.
smaller pan probably would have made more. I didn't even think about that.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so I
noticed on
use
the videos they use small pans when they make them.
okay. Next
So
time
I
I go
just
for a smaller pan, right? And I probably
yeah,
wouldn't have had to use as many eggs.
yeah.
And so but it turned out really, really, really good. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I had ordered some spicy udon noodles from
Mhm.
Rusan's, and so I heated that up, and that stuff sits and marinates and all that stuff,
I
so it was
know.
twice as
It's
good.
better the second day.
Yes, I ordered that. And I had ordered me some a sushi roll, a baked sushi roll. Now I cleaned up sushi roll last night and wasn't none of that left.
Yeah, well, I mean, sushi's so weird. I don't necessarily order it from DoorDash and stuff that often because it's not like a leftover food. It's the kind of food you have to
Correct.
order just as exactly the amount you want to eat because you can't just like microwave a sushi roll and you don't want to eat a
Mhm.
sushi roll that's been sitting out too long. So
Right.
it's like you gotta polish that bad boy off. So yeah, I would have did the same thing, finished off the sushi roll and left the udon for the next day. But yeah, so yeah, it's been pretty chill. I played High on Life, the game by the dude that made Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, and I've been really enjoying that game. Like your guns talk to you and stuff, and you shoot all these wacky
Oh.
aliens. It's got all this like Rick and Morty style humor in it. So yeah, I've been playing that between watching NBA games and NFL games and stuff.
Oh, that's been fun. And today I didn't realize that I looked on Funimation and realized they did the dubbed My Hero.
Mm.
And nigga, I
Oh
was like,
yeah, I was waiting on. I checked it. I
oh,
guess I must have just missed it because I checked it like last night or first thing this morning and it wasn't dubbed yet. But yeah, I'm gonna get on that tonight because it's that arc is crazy.
ain't it though? Yeah, and this one was like, oh, drama. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. So I've been really been enjoying that, and I'm gonna get back on Chainsaw Man, and watch some more of that. And other than that, I've been just chilling. I'm probably gonna just bitch, if it's cold tomorrow, I'm gonna be chilling. I guess I'm be Instacarting the groceries, cause nigga, I don't like the cold.
Yeah, I watched this movie last night on Paramount Plus, I think, starring Liam Neeson called Blacklight. And
Hmm.
I might do a movie review of it, but oh my god, it was so ridiculous. He's so old, way too old to keep me doing these damn impossible white man movies.
Yeah, that's his
And
bread and butter.
the funniest thing to me was it was one of these movies where he clearly got his fucking Irish accent and it never comes up in the film. And it's the whole movie is set in America. Every person in his family is American, has no one else in the movie even has an accent. And no one brings up like it's not even built into his background where they're like, oh, you remember he came over here from Interpol or something like it like it never comes up. It's like I work for the FBI, and then they're just there's like never a moment where they're like, nigga, why do you talk like that? Like,
No, nobody's questioning it. Oh, nigga, you sent me that trailer for Plane, bitch. I'm in. I am
oh yeah,
in.
that
Him.
trailer. That I was, and I said, after I watched it, not just the trailer, after I watched Blacklight, the movie, Liam Neeson, Gerard Butler, Jason Statham. These motherfuckers have to be the most U.S. law enforcement playing ass niggas
That's
who
the
have
only role
never
they play.
explained their accent in not one movie.
I wouldn't either if I didn't have to. Bitch, for why?
What? Because it's a fucking because you should have to explain this in the movie because it don't make sense. It don't
Nope, it
make
don't make no
sense.
sense at
You
all.
just build it into his fucking background. It's a one sentence explanation. I'm not talking about you gotta be like, let's give him a 30-page explanation. All you gotta be like is, well, back when I was in MI6, and everybody go, oh, that's why he got an accent. But instead, it's always like they don't say nothing at all. And then I'm like, this is even worse than just saying where he came from.
They don't care. The writing crew was like, fuck it. You put like this. Everybody now go, you know what you getting, honey. Him and Luke Cage about to have a good time down
Well,
there in the middle of
yeah.
nowhere.
So in Plane, if y'all have seen the trailer, it's Gerard Butler is flying a plane. It crashes in some like Malaysia or
Hmm.
someplace, and then they kidnap the people on the plane, except for this one person on the plane who's played by Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, who's a shady, convicted ex-military person that needs redemption, and they got to go on a mission to save these hostages because this nigga the best pilot of all time, employee of the month. Uh,
Alex,
he gonna get a
I'm gonna
machine
save
gun
these
and
families.
kill. He gonna kill all the brown people until they get him back. So I'm all the way in. And then the
I am
title was
all
just
the Roger showed me that. I was like, yes, bitch, yes, let's go. That's our jam. I actually love to see the impossible white manness of it. So I am in.
The best thing to me was just the title of the movie is just plain.
That's it. Just plain, y'all. That's the name. I thought it was gonna be something complex. It was like plain. I was like, that's the name. Bitch, I guess.
But yeah, it was so stupid. But it didn't like, I forget who plays the president, but he's like another one of them like kind of impossible white man type persons or something. It's like, I just killed I just killed this person, and then the president's like, I like this guy or some shit. It's just like, this is
Yes.
so stupid.
Wouldn't he the man that played the president on Scandal?
Yes, it was Fitz.
Yes.
Yeah, my man Fitz from Scandals out there like, I like this guy. I was like, what is this bullshit?
I don't know. And what's so funny is like I love these movies, even though a lot of them are bad and they're terrible. I don't care. I love these movies just as much as I got excited about Mission Impossible number 45. You get the same level of excitement for
Well,
me.
if
Let's
I'm
go
being honest, I don't get as excited as I do for Mission Impossible. Mission
on that.
Impossible is a
You know
whole
what?
nother.
Okay. I take that back. I knock it down a little bit, because one thing about Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise does his own stunts, so everybody else get knocked down.
Yeah, he's just so crazy. Like these people are desperate to get a hit normally, and they need these impossible white man movies to make money. But they not really doing what Tom Cruise is a movie star, so it's just different.
Yes, he's a movie star.
I saw there was also a trailer I keep seeing during the fucking NBA games that M. Night Shyamalan got another movie coming out. And if it's one thing M. Night Shyamalan gonna do, he gonna make a movie I'm not gonna see. That man,
I
keep
have
a job.
I seen The Sixth Sense, and I have not watched any of his movies since. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's a lie.
Which one I've seen?
We saw Avatar.
Oh, that terrible ass shit. And I think that was the last one. I haven't seen one since.
That was when I swore his ass off. I really don't give a fuck what he do, and I don't care how
he
much
fucked up the Avatar. They was pronouncing the names wrong, and people went brown. I was like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't care how people talk about this shit. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I'm never gonna see a motherfucking movie.
I will never forget him because I was so hyped and so excited about that
because
me and Roger got big fans of Avatar.
As soon as they said Ong instead of Aang, I said, what? This man didn't even watch the goddamn cartoons. Y'all gotta get the fuck up out of my face. So yeah, I'm definitely not seeing that shit.
Nope.
Nice try, buddy. Like, that's the spoiler alert now. When they be like, from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan. Nope. So yeah, that's all that's been going on. It's been pretty simple today. But I guess we can go ahead and get into some of this news and stuff. Let me check if there's any coronavirus news, because I really don't remember if there was. I won't play the whole song because it's just a little bit of news, to be honest. I'll play just a little bit of the song for this one article that we about to play. But I got you.
Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dummies expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying.
All right. The only news is this: China stops issuing daily COVID data ahead of outbreaks peak. Basically, don't nobody believe them.
And they know it because they know they lying.
And like I said, probably depending on your political sensibilities on which way you don't believe them. Either you don't believe, because death tolls are way too low
for the population,
and for what they have basically done, and but at the same time, the daily total is kind of too high,
right?
Like 37 million people is. I know that people are like. Here's the thing: for the people that are like, 37 million, that's what it is. They would also believe 100 million They would also believe a billion. They because the any high number is going to be their confirmation bias. So
Correct.
I don't know what's happening over there. I expect that it's booming, but nigga, I don't know. So I'm
Mm-mm.
just leaving it at that. But yeah, they said they are not um publishing daily COVID-19 data. So we
So
really
they
out
go
here.
from, since y'all don't believe our numbers, we ain't important shit.
I guess we going off vibes.
Vibes and feels. So,
They
but you know who gonna tell the story? The motherfucking hospitals. Hospitals
yeah.
don't lie. Like, that's one thing you
Well,
can't get
that's what
around.
we. But that's the thing. Hospitals don't lie about it. We gonna get the numbers.
That's right. And they did say if you already had some shit, it ain't COVID. So you
Right.
still ain't getting no real numbers.
Yeah. Like maybe I don't know if they put out their hospital capacity data.
That
You
is
know,
right, because they control
are they gonna
so
do like
much
they?
shit over there. Right. Okay, I'm with you now. So don't know, don't nobody know. It's sad, but because it's not safe, because nobody's getting real numbers. So we don't know if it's going up or down or it's different. Like nobody knows. They just like fuck it. We just don't care no more since don't nobody believe us. Basically, they're going, if we can't control it, we're not giving no information. Basically,
And are they gonna do like they did at the beginning of the pandemic, where they started building like hospitals and makeshift places when the numbers got out of control? Like maybe people will report on that, but they got such a clamp down on what comes in and out of there that it's gonna
correct.
be difficult to source information. So, but yeah, that's the only like coronavirus news that has changed since yesterday. So let's get into some regular ass news. All right, regular news. Well, we talked about how cold it is out here.
Mhm.
Right now, it seems that 15 deaths have been reported in multiple states, and there's 1.6 million people without power as a winter storm slams the U.S.
Oh no.
Yeah, and the thing with these death tolls is they're gonna go up because it's gonna take people a while to like find out who's dead if people don't have power or the electricity or the ability to communicate or buried under snow and shit like that. So
Yep.
it's definitely more than 15.
Oh yeah, it's definitely higher because, mm, say the truth, America, we actually don't care about homeless people. We don't have infrastructure shit set up for homeless people. And so you're gonna have a lot of people, like you said, they're gonna find days later literally have froze to death because the temperature's too cold and they couldn't get in the shelters because the shelters was to capacity. And a lot of the things that would have helped them, a lot of these, particularly in a lot of these Republican states, they vote that shit down. They don't want to fund. They literally make it punishable to go to jail, literally to be homeless. They build shit around
Mhm.
so that people can't rest and hang around places and shit like this. They go and they tear up their camps and shit like that because it's like it's an eyesore. But then these people don't disappear because you don't want them in your face. You have to do something. You have to help these people. You can't just be like, y'all get, and just because you don't want to be bothered.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's so I guess we'll find out. But yeah, there's millions, 1.6 million people or something without power as well. They said like 4 people died in a massive highway pileup that involved 46 cars in Ohio.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
and I've seen
And
some of these videos of people in their house just like recording their streets being like caked with ice and motherfuckers just driving down the street, bumping, knocking over like cars and shit, like
Mhm, mhm, and and
crazy.
and and it's one of those things where and it's funny though, but it's one of those things where, you know, a lot of times, not all times, but a lot of people up
Mhm.
north go, "Well, we tough, but you know what? Ice is different than snow, and that's something you cannot control." And everybody think they big and bad till your wheels hit that ice and you just start sliding and you can't control it and you don't know what's gonna
Right.
happen and shit like that. And I think a lot of people get out in this weather, even though they be telling people, "Hey, stay your ass at home," and people go, "Fuck it." And they get out there and get the ice skating, and next thing you know, you got the foul insurance, and you hurt and shit like that. And then, not all the time, but a percentage of people, they laugh. Ha 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 ha. Y'all stay y'all asses at home. Yes, I do. I stay my black ass at home because I know this shit is dangerous. It's dangerous everywhere. It don't matter where you are. It's just y'all infrastructure is a little bit better. But if they don't salt the roads and shit and be prepared, like like they normally do, this is the outcome that happens to y'all too. Y'all not above these mass accidents like we are in the South.
Do me a favor, pull your mic down a little bit so that it's right below your mouth. I wonder if that might help.
How about right here?
A little bit more.
Higher, lower,
Lower.
lower, down here?
Yeah. Yeah. Now talk directly into that. That does it have like
Okay,
an
do I need to
icon on the
turn
front?
this right in front of my face?
Hold on. Does it have an icon that you're talking to? Like
Yes,
a
but it's not like directly in front of my face.
okay, that might explain a lot. Let's see if that'll help.
Can I this shit's tight. Can this
Mhm.
turn?
You should be able to rotate the mic.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Oh, there. Yes, that's what was happening.
Okay, how about that? How do I
Yeah,
sound now?
yeah, that's way better.
Okay.
We only
My,
recorded fucking 2,600 shows. Anyway, all right.
I don't mess with this mic.
Okay, but we spent a whole 20 minutes before the show trying to figure something out. It's all good. Don't worry
My
about
bad.
it. It's okay. It's all right. Smithsonian's critically injured crocodile dead from electric shock.
Electric shock.
Yeah, they had a 10-year-old Cuban crocodile. Crocodiles normally live 50 to 75 years. And it had been biting an electrical outlet in its enclosure at the Smithsonian National Zoo. And the zoo said in a press release that it would the crocodile, which was hatched as part of efforts to repopulate the 3,000 member species because it's endangered, it was attracted to the outlet. Known for their aggressive behavior, the crocodile pulled the electric equipment off the wall and bit various pieces. Yeah. Yeah.
So whatchamacallit was on our show. Some of her friends gonna be investigating why this alligator died.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Dr. Ray Wynn Grant.
Yes.
But yeah, they said the Cuban crocodiles are one of the most endangered species of crocodile and typically live 50 to 75 years. A pathology report is underway to confirm the croc's cause of death, and his enclosure will remain empty for the foreseeable future. So we're talking about a croc shock.
Yes, we are, apparently.
You hate to see it. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Other things you hate to see, or maybe you love to see. I don't know what you're into. A priest reportedly close to the Pope Francis is accused of inviting two nuns to partake in a Holy Trinity threesome. Okay, so you heard, about this one?
No, I don't know about this one, but they say it's with three of us together. So I guess
With
he took that
two or
literally.
more together, the Lord is there. A former nun is claiming that Marco Ivan Rupnik used psycho-spiritual to control her roughly 3 decades ago. They say Rupnik forced her to watch pornography and participate in sexual sessions that he said had religious significance. Father Marco started slowly and sweetly getting inside my psychological and spiritual world, exploiting my uncertainties and fragility, and using my relationship with God to push me into sexual experiences with him. According to the former nun, he groomed her during her time with the Slovenian convent between 1987 and 1994. She also says Rupnik had sex with her and bullied her to stay silent. All these religions and a lot of these organizations with this power hierarchy of power type of thing,
the way it's structured,
it's right for abuse, it's right for silencing people, and there's a reason that we don't find shit out till 30-40 years later, because it takes a long time to be from under the threat of these people. To make matters worse, the former nun adds that Rupnik asked her and another nun for a threesome. Rupnik allegedly told the two women that they would mimic the three-way relationship between God, the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Wow. You were right, Karen.
Yeah. Like I said, manipulating people and using their belief system, quote unquote, to buy
Mhm.
into this, and then telling them and using their power to be like, well, you can't do nothing, you can't say nothing because you. And the thing is, what's so fucked up is because of the power of authority. If they would have said no, I could see this person getting them fired. You know what I mean? Getting them literally just kicked out as
Mhm.
retaliation for them not participating in these activities.
It's so weird because like Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God is not a sexual thing.
No, it's not.
So like even that comparison doesn't make sense. Or it's like we gonna do this like Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God. We gonna fuck. Like what? Like I think you
One
just
of
want
us
to have sex.
represent all three. Of course, I'm God. Of course, of course.
Right, yeah. God, he would let Jesus and the Holy Spirit suck his dick at the same. Jesus get the balls, of course. He's a giver. Um, the sexual allegations against Rupnick was found to be true. He was later excommunicated. Because 20 women, basically before this even happened, there were like 20 women that had accused him of
He's been doing this for decades. Then,
right, yeah, there
right?
were like 20 women that had accused him of made a complaint in 1994.
So people been
um
complaining. They've been ignoring that shit.
she was ignored by his followers, I guess. So they, for some reason, the other 20 women, they was like, cool, but not her. The sexual allegations against Rupnick was found to be true. He was later excommunicated from the doctrine of the faith in May 2020. Oh my God. Oh my God. He did this
Like
shit
John
in
Wick.
she made a complaint in 1994. 2020 is when he was kicked out.
I was in high school.
But that same month, he was reinstated into the congregation. Nevertheless, the congregation declined to prosecute him despite 9 women coming forward with similar allegations.
What?
Religion is
Nine.
some religion is some bullshit because of stuff like this. Like the fact that people will turn the other way for this kind of shit is just like, what could the reason be? You know? Um,
Yeah, go to jail.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner's marriage is reportedly in a toxic place right now.
You don't say.
I think
Money, like the daddy ain't in charge no more. Like
mhm.
you
I
can't
honestly
protect
don't.
him.
I honestly don't think it's any of that, Karen. I think this is her exit strategy for PR.
I could see that for separating herself from her dad. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's like
because
white
they
women
going
too.
after her
Not just her
ass too.
dad. Not just her dad. Not just her dad. Her husband too. The
Mm-hmm.
whole reputation for the Trumps. The whole reputation for the right wing party. Ivanka Trump is a person that basically ruined her brand with a
Yes.
lot of America because people won't admit it now, but at the beginning, before her father was seriously running for president, she joined his you know people and
Cabinet and
shit,
stuff. Yeah.
his org. Before that, people used to buy her clothes.
Mm-hmm.
People used to fuck with her like I
They
don't know, his
loved her because
fragrances or
they see
whatever.
her separately from him.
Yeah, it's just she like I knew people, black people that would be like, oh yeah, I wear this thing from Ivanka Trump, or I got this Trump, whatever, like, and it would be like a reasonable price and all this shit. She was considered to be like a popular, good businesswoman,
Mm-hmm.
and she threw in with her father, and even the way she threw in was always like one foot out the door. It was always like
Correct.
she still wanted to be seen as popular, kind of politically neutral, and just like a good person in general, which is impossible with her fucking toxic ass father.
Right.
And I think the whole time she's been thinking, at some point when this shit really does get bad, I'm gonna find a way out. And when the investigation from the January 6th committee was going on, she was one of the people that was cooperating and one of the people that was on some like, I wasn't with the coup, type of. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when is she gonna make this move? Because her husband is also extremely unpopular. So I was like, when is she gonna make this move to get the fuck out of here? And I think this is it.
I can see that. I can see her separating from her husband, separated from her dad, because she looking like y'all niggas is probably gonna get prosecuted, may even go to jail. Like I don't want to be anywhere near this when this shit turns left and turns sour, because I
Mhm.
can leave now, separate from you, separate from him, separate from my brother, So, because like a lot of them have been like their names keeps coming up in these investigations. So she's like, you know what? I'm good. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and that's not funny. People have such short term memory. You let some time go by, she gonna rebrand herself, brand spanking new. Come out and said that she never supported her father. Come out and say, they manipulated her, or whatever story she gonna tell, so she get back to that money.
Yeah, I think Hope Hicks is doing it too. And they aren't all doing it because like the Donald Trump Jr. or what Eric Trump, like those motherfuckers are all the way down for their father. They are
Oh, they down to
completely
the end.
wanna, yeah, they go to prison for this nigga apparently. But
Yes, they
yeah,
will.
Ivanka, I think I don't even be reading these articles because I'm like, oh, now their marriage is in a toxic place. Get the fuck out of here. She knows the writings on the wall, and she want that old thing back. You know,
Apparently so.
the Brooklyn pastor that you remember we covered him where he got robbed and Lamar Whitehead got robbed in front of his congregation and shit.
The one you showed video of.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then he was on the internet on Instagram saying homophobic shit and
Oh
fat
yes,
folk.
talking to the people on the tick on the oh, not the TikTok but the Instagram. Yes.
Well, he has now been arrested on charges of defrauding a member of his flock.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
House, yeah,
Uh,
because one of the people going house for it. He took somebody's money.
yeah. Um. So yeah, he recently was a live streaming the service. Said everyone thought I was a villain, but now they're saying I was anointed by God. Hours later, Bishop Whitehead, as he is known, was arrested Monday morning on charges of fraud, extortion, and lying to the authorities.
So somebody had some questions and he didn't answer them right.
Federal prosecutors in Manhattan said he solicited money from victims, including a retired parishioner, through threats or false promises of enriching them, then kept it. In one case, he falsely claimed he used a political connections to make millions through a business deal. The bishop's preaching at his small church, Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, was based on prosperity gospel, which emphasizes the benefits of accumulating wealth while worshiping God. Whew, religion is the damn devil.
FBI show up, they go, we don't care nothing about your religion. Nigga, you broke the law. So come on and get these charges.
He was known for years in Brooklyn for his designer suits, luxury vehicles, and his long sought wider legitimacy, once running for borough president in Brooklyn and boasting of his friendship with Mayor Eric Adams. Then that's when he got robbed. So they just go into the history that we already know.
Mhm.
He appeared in federal court in Lower Manhattan Monday afternoon, wearing a white sweatshirt and camouflage print pants, and pleaded not guilty. He was released on $500,000 bond.
Ooh,
The
you gotta pay
indictment,
10% of that, don't it?
I guess. I mean, maybe it's the Lord's 10%. I don't know. The indictment unsealed detailed allegations that echoed claims that had dogged the bishop for years. In spring 2022, according to the indictment, he tried to persuade a businessman to give him $500,000 and a stake in some real estate transactions. In exchange, he promised to secure favorable actions from the city that would make both of them millions, even though, according to the indictment, he knew he had no ability to deliver on his pledge. But it's that Stringer Bell talking to Clay Davis shit.
Something going on.
While the indictment does not name any city officials or specify any actions, it raises questions of the bishop's relationship with Mr. Adams, who distanced himself from Bishop Whitehead on Monday. I've spent decades enforcing the law and expect everyone to follow it, he said in a statement. I've also dedicated my life to assisting individuals with troubled pasts. While these allegations are troubling, I will withhold further comment until the process reaches its final conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
You better hope that there's nothing there, because I feel like Bishop Whitehead would probably rat this nigga out if it is something.
Mm-hmm. He hanging out with the mayor or some shit like that. Y'all mayor might be going down up there.
Officer Mayor. Homeland Security admits it tried to manufacture fake terrorists for Trump.
What?
Yeah. The Department of Homeland Security launched a failed operation that ensnared hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. protesters in what new documents show was a sweeping, power-hungry effort before the 2020 election to bolster President Donald Trump's spurious claims about a terrorist organization he accused his Democratic rivals of supporting.
I believe that. I believe that. Because some of this shit didn't, all these, like, some of this shit just popped up out of nowhere and just flooded online and flooded social media. I'm like, some of this shit has got to be, like, it doesn't make sense. Nobody rides
Well,
this goddamn hard.
even the stuff that people say about like Antifa, is just so weird, and
Mm-hmm.
it's such a like false demagoguing. It's such a demagoguing of like liberals or whatever. Like they're the real terrorists, Antifa. Meanwhile, no one been attacked, killed, hurt, whatever. Like they made this boogeyman up, but they keep saying these lies on Fox News and OAN, and then you can tell the people that get their news and their information from those specific silos
Mm-hmm.
because they sound like it's a real threat, even though it's nothing. It's not true. Nothing's happening.
It's not, nigga. I know nobody from Antifa. Like, I
Right.
mean, does anybody know who are these people that everybody knows? That's like gang. Antifa. Where do they meet at? What's their clubs, organization? Like, you're talking about some shit that you just made, but you know what's actually real? The oath keepers. You know what's actually real? Like y'all be claiming shit, but y'all don't
Mhm.
have no numbers to prove shit or no organizations or nothing to lead to. But yet y'all should be real people.
Yeah, the people ran up on the Capitol.
Real people did, right?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter ain't never ran up on nobody and with guns and hurting people and shit. Like, but it doesn't matter because white feelings are more important than facts. So
Correct.
to them, it's like we feel like this is a threat. We feel scared of change, and so therefore, these people are terrorists. But once again, the wheels of the government started churning because that's what he wanted, and they still couldn't find shit.
Mm-mm.
They said that an internal investigative report made public this month by Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat of Oregon, details the findings of the DHS lawyers concerning a previously undisclosed effort by Trump's acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, to amass secret dossiers on Americans in Portland attending anti-racism protests in the summer 2020, sparked by the police murder of Minneapolis father George Floyd. The report described attempts by top officials to link protesters to an imaginary terrorist plot in an apparent effort to boost Trump's reelection odds. Yeah, it's just like the migrant wave of whatever the caravan they had coming until he, won until the midterms were over, and then all of a sudden the caravan went away.
Yeah, they was stopping traffic, and they was like, "These people booing us, yes, bitch, because you going around in circles, you fucking up traffic. Don't nobody want y'all here. The fuck is this? We know,
Wait,
but
wait,
12 of
what are you
y'all
talking about? What are you talking
ain't
about?
these the truckers that was like coming down from Canada.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no, baby. That's a
wrong
different.
caravan.
Yeah, definitely a different prayer. I'm talking about that they had. I want to say it was either 2018 or 2016, but Donald Trump kept saying there was a migrant caravan coming from South America that was going to cross into America and
Ah.
go by
Oh
the
yeah, it didn't
border, and
never
only he
came.
could stop them. And the second that the election was over, we never heard about that fucking caravan.
Right, because shit was made up, right?
Yeah, and they do shit like this,
Hmm.
So
And nobody
um,
retracts, nobody recants. They just, oh well, just move on to the next lie. And it's one of those things where you purposely do this because America and the mass would just believe the shit regardless of if you made it up or not. And that's very dangerous because if they could do it to any American citizen, don't think you are above the rules when some shit happened and you want to protest and they stop pinning shit on you because they don't actually care about you either. Nobody cares until they're out there protesting about some shit and the police popping them upside the head. Then they're like, "Oh no!"
uh, who's in charge of the government is just extremely important. Now, hopefully, that's what
Yes,
people learn because they are able to send these people on wild goose chases. And if you
and
have a
waste
person that
taxpayers'
is
money.
so politically, personally motivated and selfish and truly sees this as nothing but a grift, it's going to affect me and you because who knows how many threats actually did make it through. Who knows how much stuff did happen because Homeland Security was, you know, writing down Black Lives Matter protesters and their information and surveilling them and shit when the people that were organizing to run up on the fucking Capitol were just had a blind eye turned towards them.
Yes, and fucking up people's lives, like literally fucking up their lives forever and shit like that. And and when you go try to fight against this, it's like an uphill battle because it's like they lied and nobody wants to actually believe you. Everybody act like you're the one that's crazy and conspiracy and all that shit. And I feel bad sometimes, but I understand, a lot of the people that are to the extreme sometimes that they're too
Mhm.
extreme, but I understand with some of the conspiracies because shit like this make them say, see?
Right. But yeah, it's sad that we're finding out shit like this so much later. It's like his tax returns. We're finding out now that the IRS never audited his taxes when they were supposed to the whole time he was in office, and that's the reason we're finding out now, 2 years after he's out of office, his taxes are just now being unveiled.
Yes, yeah, because then when that nigga went in office, he said, I'm not giving it. And he didn't. Nobody
Yeah,
forced
but
him.
it's the government. The IRS has gotten Barack Obama's taxes. Joe Biden's taxes already been audited.
Yeah, they said
There was
everybody
a
before him did.
4 year, if not six, 4 year lull where they said we're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that he said he's not doing it. Who the fuck is he?
Right.
They have the information. They can just go get it.
Mhm.
They can use the wheels of power to go find this shit.
Who's
They
in these
did.
positions matter because whoever he had in a position just didn't give a fuck.
Right. I think it was like Steve Mnuchin or something. Like,
Right.
they know what they doing with this bullshit. You
Right, and
know?
that's why a lot of people got scared, and I will continue to say this. They got scared once Trump lost because they knew people were going to start investigating, people were going to start looking, people was going to come out with facts. People were going to be like, "Y'all have had enough time fucking shit up. We about to come in here and clean this shit out. We about to release information. The government is about to run like it should be running the whole time." But the whole purpose was to fuck the government up and fuck so many of these systems up that a lot of Americans have faith in, that when the truth does come out, you don't believe the truth either. And so it kind of it's sad, but it wears the American people down because a lot of Americans aren't smart. It wears them down to they be like, well, I just don't believe nobody. It's like, well, bitch, come on now. Everything can't be goddamn chaos all the time. We got to have some form of organization here.
Right. So this is frustrating. But let's get into a different segment, okay? We're frustrated. Let's get a little more frustrated, okay? Let's do some let's
A
do
little
some
bit more frustrated.
yeah, let's keep the frustration going. Let's do some fucking with black people. Here we go.
Who, 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 hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey, do I?
You know how it is. We go around the globe, find different articles, make us feel a way, and then we score them from 0 to 100 and how in intervals of 25 for how much we feel fucked with as black people. Today's contestants, everybody. The host of a popular true crime podcast is facing backlash after asking listeners, which race do you prefer the murder victims to be?
What? No race. I don't want nobody dying. The fuck is this?
Sword and Scale, the long-running true crime podcast, is under
That nigga
fire
been
for
around forever. Ain't he been in some other bullshit we talked about years ago?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's a pretty controversial guy, I guess. He did a Twitter poll when listening to true crime podcast. Which race do you prefer the murder victims to be? And the three options were white, black, and indigenous. People were shocked by the poll's strange and callous overtones. I think preferring any one type of person is completely fucked up and personally, and a really weird thing to ask, one person wrote.
It really is, and it's more than three races. I hope you know that. Like, it could be literally
Yeah, he
anybody.
ain't got all that, Karen. You only get
he,
4 options
ain't,
on Twitter.
he,
Uh,
he ain't got all day to have all the bubbles.
We could have put other, but you only get 4 options on the Twitter poll. The tweet encapsulates several key ethical questions that have come up in recent years as the true crime genre has gained massive popularity. Experts have widely criticized true crime media for its outweighed focus on white victims. Baudet, I guess how you say his name, Baudet, however, questioned whether that had led to white crime victims no longer being covered. I've heard certain popular podcasts are no longer covering stories with white victims, he wrote in a follow-up tweet. So
If you
wondering
don't
if
get the
this is
fuck out
due
of
to
here,
audience preference. What'd you say, Karen?
I said, if you don't get the fuck out of here, like a lot of these crime stuff, that's a lot of times who they cover because a lot of black people that actually into this go and not a black and brown are like and LGBTQ going, yeah, cover more variety of stories and talk about these other stories that kind of get washed up underneath the water,
Mm-hmm.
that y'all never talk about,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So then you
So
saying in this poll you would have voted black then?
no, I wouldn't have voted in the poll. The poll is fucked
I mean,
up.
it sound like you are saying that to you don't want the white victims anymore. So what are you saying, black or indigenous, Karen? I just want to know.
No, the way you just covered the story, you were saying that he was saying nothing but white people. And I was like, that's not true.
He was saying that some podcasts have stopped covering white victims because of the backlash. That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay, okay,
So he was
okay.
saying, if you're a true crime listener, what do you prefer, black, white, or indigenous? Now he's being facetious, to be honest, because
Correct.
from his later responses, he started using words like woke, which might as well be the hard R at this point. So
Right.
and he's a controversial dude. So I don't think he ever. It was always a bad faith argument.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it underpins something that is a real issue within the true crime genre, um, which is who is centered in it. And true crime as a genre is already kind of a weird genre in the first place because I mean it's very
Women love that genre. They've done studies and they say that's like the number one category for a lot of women.
yeah, and it's also heavily white women.
Mm-hmm.
And it also based on the person who did the crime or who was accused of the crime, it can be heavily biased towards demonizing certain type of people,
And how they
and
cover
all
the
that shit.
story, yes.
So yeah, it's kind of anyway, 0 to 100.
I'm get 100 because that's fucked up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nigga, somebody died and like it's a whole ass family on both sides. Is people that are still alive and impacted by these stories, even decades and years later, And so it's like you're being very callous to somebody that has died.
I just think the genre that's kind of built into the genre. And if you decide to listen to it or be into that shit, I think you just got to understand what you getting into.
Correct.
Like, I don't think that's the problem with it. I think it's more just him trying to. I say I give it like a 50. I think it's more just him trying to stir the pot of like white people are the real people being penalized right now. It's like you can't even say white people are being killed in true crime, like, which is such an overstatement and bullshit. That's the part that bothers me. The other stuff is really just having an issue with true crime as a genre, and I
Uh,
don't have an issue with true crime as a
and no,
genre.
no, and I don't have an issue with it either. But I'm just saying, like the way you phrase that question is just fucked up.
Yeah, he meant to. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Nah, I give it a
Right.
50. I'm not as mad as I guess some people, but yeah, it's a bit annoying. In fact, 25. I'm not. He's a piece of shit. We know that. Men who dress up as Black Santa Claus spread joy, diversity, and inclusion for the holidays. Um. So this just seems to be about black dudes being Black Santas. Yeah, Black Santas such as Andre, as he's known to the children, are growing in popularity amid a rise in diversity and representation among traditional holiday characters.
Mm-hmm.
Within the Santa community, fewer than 3% of professional Santas are of ethnic origins. And I wanted to fill that spot. Parker, a former U.S. Marine and public safety chief, told USA Today, growing up in Alabama, Parker said he had no exposure to Black Santas. I don't remember seeing any on TV. It was a traditional white Santas in red suits, and even on the old claymation TV shows and cartoons, Santas were all white, said Parker. He started his journey as Black Santa in July.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, so I guess Black Santas are growing a little bit in diversity. Weird that still only 3% of,
Yeah,
because that's not just black, that's 3% of ethnic.
This is the other category. This is white or other.
Yeah,
so it don't matter. You 3%.
Right, 3%. That's not all black. That's crazy.
Right.
But yeah,
Everybody want to see themselves represented.
but I guess the emergence of Black Santa is a cool thing. So 0 to 100.
0, but 100 for the racism that this post Santa probably got to deal with for people probably not hiring him, and I'm pretty sure it's probably hard for them to get jobs and shit like that because people are very biased, and a lot of people, even some black people, believe Santa gotta be white. So I could see it being a problem. So 0 for him, 100 for I know what the bullshit that he got to put up with.
Senate confirms the 90th Biden judge, and nearly half are women of color.
Let's go.
The Senate is on track to finish the year with more judges confirmed to the federal bench than its first 2 years of the Obama and Trump administrations. That's very impressive.
Making up that difference, because truth be told, with Trump, it's a lot of shit that he just didn't feel. Like a lot of positions and shit that people left or retired or resigned or quit. He did not fill those positions, some of them, and then some of them he put people in there that would just do what he told them to do. So shout out to Biden, but like, I'm gonna fill all these goddamn positions. These positions can't be empty no more.
Yeah, and these are lifetime positions too.
Let's go.
Yeah. You love to see it, as the kids say. Even though a conservative majority resides in the Supreme Court, the bulk of federal cases are still resolved by circuit court judges. So that's why it's important to have, this many seats filled. Nearly 50% of those people confirmed are women of color. That's never happened before, Schumer said. I'm confident a more diverse bench will go a long way in cultivating trust in our courts and our democracy. Yeah, also, like, these were promises he made and filled, and when people say, what did he do for black people and shit facetiously, this counts.
They skip over all that bullshit. They do.
I'm saying this counts too.
Yes, it does count.
Like this is one of those things they try not to count as doing something for black people. This counts. So
yeah, it's like almost like they don't want to give him credit for anything, and then anything he does, they cry that it's never enough. And I understand you want to push people, and I understand that you want to continue to move forward, but there are some things where, nigga, this shit is impacting people's lives and changing their lives and making it easy, and you spitting on it going, oh, that ain't shit. It was like, well, it might not mean anything to you, but you know what, this few hundred, a few thousand, or whatever it is, these changes, this extra money, this extra food stamps, these, extending insurance, like that shit matters to somebody. And it matters a lot. You can't act like it don't matter and it don't count.
That's the other thing I love about Biden is his superpower. He does radical things, and for the nature of him doing it, it becomes not radical.
Right.
It's like this. If this would have been Obama appointing this many black people, and especially black women, it would have been considered some type of radical takeover by the left wing, blah blah blah. And he's whatever. It would have been World War III. White people would have voted for their candidates to make sure that they could stop him. It would have been on Fox News every day, but
nobody giving a fuck. He just putting them in there, and everybody going, okay.
Right. It's just like people. It's not a big deal, and I love that about him because, to me, a lot of this shit isn't a big deal. It's a big deal in that it hasn't happened before, but it shouldn't be a big deal that black women, the most educated people in the fucking country, are becoming judges. It shouldn't really be a big deal, but all right, let's get into some other news.
White people news, we're bringing exciting to the barbecue. We might be problematic or a little bit stiff. The sun's really harsh on our fragile pink skin. White people news.
All right, let's talk about white people news.
Okay.
King Charles have officially banned his brother Prince Andrew from Buckingham Palace following his ties to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That took a while, but
It
just
did.
congratulations. I guess they said we got to stop beefing with Harry. This nigga know where the cameras is, and he be going to Netflix. Let's start beefing with
Mhm. We
Andrew.
don't want to be seen as terrible people.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
oh, you know which one we can pick on? The pedophile.
Yeah, and
Uh,
also, like somebody said, the queen died, so he can actually make this decision, not have to worry about his mama.
Any presence at the palace is officially over, the source said. The king has made it clear he isn't a working royal. He's on his own. Charles' decision comes after the disgraced prince resigned 3 years ago over his affiliation with sex trafficking duo Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Following his resignation, Queen Elizabeth allegedly allowed Andrew to maintain a space in the palace and oversee a small staff. However, his brother isn't being so lenient and even banned him from using the castle as a corresponding address. So forward your mail to your house.
Nowhere else. Don't send shit here with your name on it. We're gonna tear it up. We're gonna burn it.
Right. So all right, guess good for them. Still not that impressed with that family. They ain't got no dragons. Scarlett Johansson says, I was groomed to play provocative roles when I was young.
Hmm.
She said she claims her old management team groomed her into taking on bombshell roles at the start of her acting career. I kind of became like an ingenue, the Black Widow's 38 years old, said on iHeartRadio's Table for Two podcast with Bruce Bozzi. Young girls like that are really objectified, and that's just a fact. So I think whatever box they're put into, it sort of sets you on a trajectory for how your life will go. Now, obviously, women really are able to move more now to choose their own path.
Hmm.
Johansson said around the time that she was in her late teens, she began to come into her own womanhood and began flirting with her own desirability and sexuality, which didn't necessarily help her get out of being typecast. I think because of the trajectory that I've been sort of launched towards, I really got stuck in this. The Black Dahlia star continued. I was kind of being groomed in a way to be this, what you call this bombshell type of actor. I was playing the other woman in this object of desire. And, I suddenly found myself cornered in this place like I couldn't get out of it. Yeah, I think she definitely was seen as the hot sex symbol, um, like actress.
Hmm.
And I don't know that you can even really get out of that without almost ejecting from the whole system, because the top of that system is run by a lot of men
Hmm.
that only see these type of, like, certain type of women. They only see them as like sex or no sex,
Hmm.
it's not about merit and shit. It's like this role, the people that are writing the movie, people that are casting the movie, the people that are producing the movie, the people that are doing all this shit, directing the movie. A lot of this stuff is predicated on, we need a certain type of woman, and either you willing to do that shit or you not. And if you willing to get naked and you willing to be the sex symbol, you gonna be in more movies than if you're not.
Yeah, and it's really really fucked up because they basically like fuckable and unfuckable. And once you become that unfuckable age, they want you to be the grandma. They want you to be the
Mhm.
aunt. Like they don't want you to be anything else. They don't. It's rare that you see movies about older women and their sex and sexuality and things like that. Like they're out there, but they are far and few in
Also,
between.
we know in Hollywood what they consider sexy and sex appeal for women, it stops at like 25 in a lot of cases. Like,
Right.
not that there's no sexy roles for any women after that, but it's like you either establish yourself as that girl who's willing to get naked and play the sex roles and shit. You either do that early or they're like, you're done. And then when they feel like the bloom is off the flower, off the rose, it's hard as fuck to work. There's so many women that people are like, what happened to this actress? And
Right.
the thing that happened was they got old, quote unquote, and old could be 26, old could be
Okay,
28.
30.
Right, because you see these we cover these stories all the time. You see even the women that the directors and the old producers and company, even the women they date are like smoke shows, but young as fuck. If you look at leading men in Hollywood and who they're dating off screen, it's nothing to be like Ben Affleck's dating a 26-year-old so and so or 32-year-old Anna de Armas or some, like it's nothing for that shit. So of course the Hollywood culture and the movie culture is skewed in a way that says um Scarlett Johansson is hot and she's the it girl, but any day she could not be. And it's the one place of empathy I've had for her that I think
Right.
a lot of people didn't want to have and they don't want to express, which is fine. But I got to speak for myself. I had empathy for her when she was thinking of like, I'm gonna play this trans role. When she was thinking, I'm gonna play the major in Ghost in the Shell and shit like that. I understood because in her mind, whether it's true or not, we think she's made it. In her mind, she's thinking, I'm no longer the sex vixen hot girl. I'm
Yeah.
36 now, and at
I'm
some
one step
point,
away from my phone stop ringing.
yes, exactly. So I just think
Yeah,
that's what was happening.
I can see that, and the thing is, they do it to white women, so other people definitely don't stand a chance because you
Yeah,
actually don't fit it from the
there's
beginning,
a shit ton of black women that just don't even get on.
right? And there's a shit ton of black women, and it's hilarious. Not hilarious, it's sad because I've heard so many actresses, particularly black actresses, they be like they didn't know what to do with me. Well, they can actually put you in some of these roles that they write for these white starlets, but they go, we don't know what to do with you because you're black. And you go, the fuck that mean? I'm gorgeous, like I fit the part. Y'all just do not want to give me the chance.
Yeah, but it's like if I don't want to fuck you because I'm racist,
Correct.
then why would the audience want to see you be a sex symbol or whatever? Also, I mean, to the credit of these actors and actresses, though, there is something to sex appeal. Like I
Yes.
think that always gets erased in this conversation. It turns into like we're talking about an office workplace where how good can you do your TPS reports? Nah, part of Hollywood, and there's certain people that specialize in this, is being the person that people want to fuck.
Agreed.
And I don't think there's any shame or anything bad about that. And as long as it's on the up and up with the crew and the directors and no one's abusing anybody or something like that,
Right.
there's a place for, hey, if Scarlett Johansson just wanted to go down as like the woman that was just fuckable at every age, there shouldn't be any stigma attached to that. But as you can see, a lot of times people end up resenting this shit because you get pushed towards these things when you're at a younger age, because that's the only time they're really going to accept you establishing yourself as a sex symbol. And you may not fully understand what that means for your career, for your life,
Particularly
for your
really
acting
young. Right.
choices, getting typecast. And it's hard to get yourself out of that shit. And not to mention just how many people fucking like, the parasocial relationships of love and hate with these people where
Mm-hmm.
they love you because you look a certain way. They hate you because you look a certain way. They hate you
Right.
because these people like you. They love you because these people hate you. Like, it's so much other shit. And at the end of this is just a human fucking being trying to do this very hard thing of being an actor. And so much of the game is about shit that's not about acting. you know?
Right, right, and the thing is, when you point out the obvious, well, you go, well, men could be sex symbols forever. We just talked about Liam Neeson and some of these other dudes,
Yeah.
just like not trying funny, pushing like 60, 70, 80, that's out here being action stars and shit like that. How many older women do you see playing action stars, quote unquote, past their prime? And even with that, a lot of times they don't. If they have love interests, a lot of times that love interests don't even be their age. Like it's
Yeah.
rare that you see them with a love interest that's actually a reasonable age.
That's the
She's
genre.
actually 30 degrees younger than you. Not
Yeah.
30
That's
degrees, 38, 30 years.
right. Got temperature on your mind.
You
Yeah,
right?
that's the but that's the thing, isn't it? That's the not the genre, that's the ecosystem of Hollywood. It permeates its way through the movies. I remember watching a movie one time where Robert De Niro was in it. I think it was either him or Al Pacino, and it was like 50 Cent was in the movie and shit. And this motherfucker had to be about 70, 80 years old, and his love interest was like 40. And it was just like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This isn't
Mm-mm.
hot. This isn't sexy. It doesn't even make sense to, in the
Right.
in the context of the film. But also, life imitates art. That's the other part is there's plenty of consenting adult women who have decided, like, listen, if I can get with one of these rich, old, weird, creepy motherfuckers with money and power, I'm absolutely gonna give them this 25-year-old pussy. I don't give a fuck if y'all
Mm-hmm.
judge. They the ones y'all judging anyway, or if y'all judge
Right.
me, that's fine. I'm judge me in the back of this limo, judge me on this helicopter, judge me at Leonardo DiCaprio's mansion. So I
Right.
mean, it's not like it's an abusive thing, but I just think it's like a rigged game, and everyone's playing
Agreed.
their angle. And she is one of the few people, Scarlett Johansson, that made it to old enough to be able to have an opinion.
Yes, because before now, people would have been like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up. What you
Yeah.
complaining about?"
Or
Right.
or or you make it to 38, but you ain't in the game no more, and everybody goes, "Oh, you just bitter.
Right.
Oh, you just bitter because you're not hot no more." Like we do it to these women that way, but she's one of the few people that still got a voice to be able to say, like, nah. She says young girls like that are really objectified, and that's just a fact. So I think whatever box you put it into, it sort of sets you on a trajectory how your life will go. Now, obviously, women really are able to do more to choose on. Oh wait, I said that part. But yeah, I thought there was another quote. Oh yeah, she said I was kind of groomed to be this way. Oh, I said that too. What was the other quote? Oh, I think for that kind of bombshell road that burns bright and quick, then you don't have much opportunity beyond that. And I just felt like I was burning out so quickly. Um, and I think that's why she was tripping over them roles. I mean, she admitted
Mm-hmm.
she was wrong for that shit, but I think that's why her first reaction was like, "Man, fuck y'all. They can stop calling me at any moment. Why y'all on my case? All I did was audition for the role or
Right.
try to get the story told and all this shit." And so, anyway, but I feel her. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. And like you said,
Uh,
she's of the age, and there's a video going around like a round table of them talking to like all types of actresses, and they're talking about like being older and things like that. The lady who played Everything Everywhere All at Once was talking about that, and she was talking about as you getting older and some of her roles and how you know now she's kind of getting her flowers and stuff.
who?
And
Her?
yes,
Scarlett? Okay.
not Scott. No, 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 no. The woman who plays everything everywhere all at
Oh,
once.
Michelle Yeoh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, and she was talking about how it was a point where, all they sent her was, particularly after she played in Crazy Rich Asians, they was giving her roles for let's be another grandma. And she said she turned that shit down. She said, I don't want to be nobody grandma. I don't want to be nobody mama. Like y'all not gonna pigeonhole me in these particular roles because I was good at this one thing. Like I enjoyed doing that, but I don't want to do that forever. I want variety because I'm an actor. I was like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Um, Pregnant Kiki Palmer slams insane haters for calling her ugly.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah. Pregnant Kiki Palmer slammed Twitter trolls for calling her ugly, telling them they need to get some help. The actress noticed a few comments criticizing her appearance without makeup on Tuesday. I really want y'all to get the help y'all need because makeup isn't real. I'm beautiful in real life because of who I am, not what I look like. I wish I could bottle how I feel about myself and sell it. Because some people take comments to heart and these people just say anything.
Come on through.
He concluded with crying, laughing emojis, writing, truly, it's insane to say anyone is ugly, but especially me. Yeah, it's funny because uh if they'll say it about her, it tells you they'll say it about anybody,
Correct.
you know.
Yeah, a lot of it's
Um
internal projecting too.
oh, of course. I mean, yeah, it's all projecting, but if you've been feeling bad about the way you look or what somebody said about you, I know Christmas is here and y'all around your family. Just remember, they call Kiki Palmer ugly. These motherfuckers don't know what they talking about.
Right. And that's why is particularly with women, we talked about this before, it's very, very hard, but you got to learn how to love yourself no matter what. That's very, very hard to do because it literally goes against everything that everybody around you has told you. Because particularly as a growing up as a straight woman, everything about you has been judged and criticized and torn down, and you do shit for the approval of your parents. You do shit for the approval of men. You do shit for the approval of gays or your boss or whatever. And you have to get to the point where you go, well, I actually don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. I am who I am and I love me. And no, I might not be no Beyonce, but I'm a Beyonce in my own right and in my own world. And you're not gonna come over here and rock it because I'm not your cup of tea. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm not fucking you, and you're not fucking me.
Well, it's also just that the lack of approval is the only power a lot of people have. Now, if
Agreed.
that was a bar and a jewel in a gym, and I'm gonna say it again because a lot of y'all wasn't picking that up. Little brothers, go ahead and put this on the Twitter timeline using the hashtag. The lack of approval is the only power some people have.
Mm-hmm. Because they
And
in
I
our
think
lives.
that's what a lot of my rejection of like the quote unquote internet community and disliking certain celebrities and people and shit. A lot of my rejection of that has been because that's the vibe I'm feeling is like this isn't really a community. This is people getting off on a shared lack of approval because
Mm-hmm.
there's no fact that can change your mind. There's no new information that you can get. You clearly just have a mad on and a hard on for being able to withhold your approval as if that's some type of power. And unfortunately, it can be a type of power because we've seen certain targets of this come out and talk about how their mental health has been affected. You've seen
Mm-hmm.
people, I mean, so you've seen like other people in the Marvel universe come out to tell people like, yo, I don't know why y'all hate Chris Pratt, but I know him and work with him and he's not bad. And people are like, nah, fuck that. That just lets us know that y'all are hearing that we're shitting on him. And so we want to triple shit on the man, you know? And so that the people like to point it out when it's a group of people they agree with or people they don't
Right.
like, you know. But Keke Palmer is just as much subject to that shit. And I love that she says, you know, it won't work on me. My self confidence too good, blah, blah, blah. And that's beautiful. But yeah, the attempt is what I'm looking at. And I think the attempt is always was foul. Because there's so many people who literally are volunteering
Every
to be
goddamn day.
terrible. You don't gotta make nothing up. You
Mm-mm.
don't have to like search for a conspiracy. You don't have to wonder if possible. There are so many people who are saying the things that you want these other people to hold them accountable for not, you know, they didn't even do. It's just wild to me. But I love um that she said that, and I definitely reading that made me think about it. Like, damn, if they'll say that shit about Keke Palmer, let me just not give these niggas no room.
Right. And also as somebody who has I'm not I guess you could say on the other side and every day it is a process. Um Allowing other people's opinions and feelings dictate and control how you feel about yourself and you're going, I don't give a fuck, you know. And the thing about getting to the point where you go, I don't give a fuck, you have to deal with the people getting angry that they no longer have the control. So now you're a bitch and now you're a whore and now you're stuck up and now you're uppity. They thought that anyway, but now they just verbally come out and they're saying it because you're telling them that they don't have no power here. And so now you're becoming an inconvenience for them. You're not a target anymore. You're not an easy target. And I personally think the reason why they don't go after these other people, because these other people don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They're not listening. They're not going to respond. They're going
Well,
to keep doing
I
fucked up shit.
yeah, exactly. Even when they go after them, they don't really respond to it because they don't care
Mm-mm.
that they're a terrible person. You know, I
Right.
think 50
So
Cent
they
is a
can't use
great
that power.
example of. Hmm?
So they can't use that power.
I think 50 Cent is a great example of a person that clearly doesn't give a fuck and keeps doing and saying horrible shit, but people support him because they feel like, well, it doesn't matter if I don't like him. And I mean, to a certain extent, I almost envy that kind of ability because not I don't want to be a terrible person, but I do envy
Mm-mm.
the ability of being like, yeah, I don't care what y'all think.
Right.
Anyway, Will Smith, who you know has had to care what everybody thinks because of that horrible night with the Oscars where he slapped Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he called it a horrific night in his first interview about it. Um, he sat down with I believe it was Trevor Noah of the Daily Show. Let me just make sure I got that right. Um yeah, and they did an interview. Now I did watch this interview And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the interview. You know, and if you listen to the show, you know I'm not one of the like Will Smith is an asshole who's secretly always been a terrible person, and we just found out 54 years too late that he's like I've always felt like I still feel the same about that night in that he lost control. It was terrible. I don't think it was called for. I think he even said he regretted it and apologized. I think Chris Rock was the victim there, and even if
Mm-hmm.
his joke was corny or bad, I don't think it was a get slapped situation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But in the interview, man, I was a little disappointed with like the tone of it with Trevor Noah and stuff. It felt like Trevor was so wanting him to like it's like Trevor just wanted to tell the world it's okay to like Will Smith again. And a lot of his promotion for the movie Emancipation has really been about the slap. It hasn't really because it's
Correct.
if he doesn't reform or rehabilitate his public image, basically there's no way that anyone who's worked on this movie, which was, you know, wrapped up before that slap even, is no way anyone's gonna get the accolades and the props and the credit they deserve. So a lot is riding on his likability. But the interview just came off like Will Smith is the victim of slapping Chris Rock. And I can't lie, man. I thought it was weird, and I thought maybe it's just the editing or whatever. But I thought Trevor really didn't like. I would have rather them not talk that much about it than to talk about it in the way they did. You
Okay,
know,
I can see that.
if y'all can always go watch it yourselves. Y'all know I'm a huge Trevor Noah fan.
Hmm.
So it's not some type of agenda or something, and I don't have an agenda against Will Smith, but like I just it was such a weird interview. It just felt very much like, hey guys, it's okay to like Will again. And Will, how are you doing now that you've been victimized by slapping Chris Rock? How are you dealing with the victimization that you're experiencing? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels weird and all that stuff. But um and it really became more about and I don't blame him. I don't think Will Smith can keep apologizing to Chris Rock. I think it's he apologized. Chris either will accept it or not. It doesn't seem like he
Right.
will, and either they'll sit down and talk at some point, or they won't.
Right.
That's all you can do. And I know America is very like kiss the ring, so we want to see him like kiss the ring and keep apologizing and keep being sorry and only live in that moment for the rest of his life. And you know, every movie we want to see, but it just felt like kind of gross. Like, let's just get this. Like, I hope this is it. I hope it, regardless of what happens after this, unless Chris Rock does something or says something to him about it, I really hope this is the last time that he got to do this tour because it just felt very weird.
I can see that too.
Yeah. So, although I did see the commercial for Chris Rock's new stand-up special, Selective Outrage. Um, and it's gonna be the first ever live Netflix event.
I was hearing that. What does that mean? Like, is this gonna be they're gonna be streaming it live?
Yeah. So like you'll tune in
Ah,
at a specific time and you'll be watching it live on Netflix.
that's wow.
Yeah. And Romy, I disagree. Trevor asks tough questions during interviews. He's actually really good at it. And sometimes he'll even ask the question. He just doesn't ask it in a gotcha way, but he definitely asks you the question. This time he didn't do it. This time he didn't do it. I was a little surprised, to be honest. But anyway, this Chris Rock, I saw the commercial and it was so funny because I've noticed this with all stand-up comedian special commercials. Why do they promote them like very serious rap albums?
New shit, new shit.
Well, it's not new shit, new shit. I mean, it's very like ominous and serious, and it's like a hip hop beat, and it's dark,
They
and
want
the
you to take it
camera's like
seriously.
behind your shoulders, following you out to the stage, to the mic, and it's very, you know, like dun, 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 or whatever, and it's just very, and you never even see them say a joke or smile. Like it's just certain, and it's not every comedian, but it's like a lot of black comedians, especially, do the like, I'm so motherfucking serious about these goddamn jokes, nigga. I'm gonna make you bitches laugh, you stupid motherfucker. Like it's very like hip hop vibes, as opposed to like
Why? Like, why are you screaming at me?
I've never watched these ads and thought to myself, oh my God, I'm about to crack the fuck up. Because they never give you that. The commercial is always kind of serious. Even Dave Chappelle's last specials, where he had like Morgan Freeman doing a voiceover, it would be like Dave sitting in a park, black and white, the camera slowly panning close to him. Maybe he's smoking a cigarette, and Morgan Freeman's like, this is Dave. Dave is thinking about blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like, what is it about? Is it like another extension of black men don't smile in pictures, but it's even comedians? Like, nigga, your job is to make me smile and laugh. Why don't you know that? You know, like I don't know. It's just funny. Y'all maybe now that
Like,
y'all
you
said
won't
it,
see no tears falling from my eye, but I'm gonna make this comedy cry. Apparently, I don't know what's happening here.
I'm just saying, next, maybe now that I said it, y'all will notice it too. Cause I haven't stopped noticing it for, it's been years where it's just like, damn, like you can't even hold the mic and smile. You can't even like I'm not saying you gotta put on a clown costume
Because we're men.
You ain't gotta do no tap dancing or nothing, but like it's literally just like it's like nothing's funny to me, motherfucker. I'm about to, I got some observations for you motherfuckers. I'm gonna bust y'all ass today. Oh man, I guess it's just black comedy, you know, that vibe.
That's
You know.
hilarious.
I guess you know what that is. That commercial and that face is the reaction to 1 million black people telling you, you better be funny. You know.
That was, yeah, which is sometimes not fair, but we could be like the toughest critics. We're coming with our arms folded, going, make me laugh.
Yeah, and I mean, you can watch the special, and the special can actually be really fucking funny. By the way, like Kevin Hart is a very silly comedian. Look at the commercials for his specials. That's all. Look at the promo ads. It's never him being funny. It's just him being very serious, walking out to the stage or some shit like that. You know, I'm like, where are the jokes? So anyway, I just thought that was funny. We already talked about Tom Cruise. Let's see if there's any other white people news.
About that Tom Cruise. Let's go.
Yeah. See if there's any other white people news before I move on. Kim Kardashian settles divorce with Kanye West. She'll get $200K in child support.
Okay.
I wonder if every time he says something anti-Semitic, the number goes down.
I hope not.
Oh, please don't say nothing about no Jews. It's 150 now. Your daddy lost another $200 million fucking around. And yeah, that's it. Let's move out of here. And get into some sword ratchetness, and we'll wrap this bad boy up on this Christmas day. Boom. Pause. There we go. Because if not, Spotify, I'll go to the next song, and I was trying to pause it before it went. That wasn't the homophobic pause that most straight black men do. That was the
no, like I really want you to stop.
Actual definition of I would like to pause Spotify. So, defeated politician wields a sword in threatening rampage after election.
Well, damn.
An enraged politician reportedly lashed out following a recent campaign loss, threatening local voters with a sword. I've heard of election denial, but this is the next level.
This is ridiculous.
The incident in question reportedly took place Friday in Akola district of Maharashtra, a state located in central India. According to a report from the Hindu, the unidentified 45-year-old man reacted brashly and violently after learning he had not been elected to the Gram Panchayat government in his village of Kamkhed. Despite members of his family holding office in the village for the last 30 years. He had previously contested the village's elections in his bid for office. In a video viewed by the Hindu, the man had purportedly been seen brandishing the sword at the residents of the village following his loss, verbally harassing them and threatening violence. Well, he should have had that kind of hustle when it was time to get the vote out.
Right?
It's too late now. You should have been saying, get out and vote for me. Shing! The newspaper report said the video had gone viral on social media, but Newsweek at the time has been unable to find it. He was angered about a sudden loss and threatened the villagers, the village official said in a statement to the newspaper. As of Saturday, the man's actions have been referred to law enforcement and a relevant case has been opened against him. And a manhunt is underway for the man now.
Oh, the manhunt. He did that shit and ran out of town. Everybody know who you are.
Right. If there's a manhunt for you and they can't find you after you ran for office, that explains why you lost. Because don't nobody know who you are. Like they should be immediately able to find you. If you had a chance of winning, you know, it's like if Joe Biden lost the election, it's 65 million people that know what this nigga look like now, you know?
Right.
Like you can't just go on the run. So maybe he wasn't a good politician.
No, and that might explain why they didn't vote for him too.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, Karen. I think that says a lot. Crazy. Yeah, it's like he seemed like the type of motherfucker pull a sword out when he lose.
And everybody was like, no, somebody was like, no, I'll vote for him. And then they was like, see, he pulled his sword out. I told you, that's why I didn't vote for him.
Right. All right, y'all. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. We'll be back later on. Until next time, I love you.
Love you too.
Mwah.